Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the CollabCast. I'm Katie Cusack, and I'm here with David King, our editor and associate publisher of the magazine that is very soon to come. We're here to update you on a few things. Do you want to kick us off?
No, that's your job. So we just wanted to give everyone an update. We are getting closer to our website launch this month. In fact, when you see this, the website is likely to be coming alive with a variety of different things. We have our initial lineup of columnists, but we are still looking for more folks to get involved. And I think over the next few weeks, you'll see what we're looking for and the kind of conversations we want to have with local creatives. So we really encourage you to get involved if you have something to say, if you want to share what you've learned as a creative in the Capital Region, or what you think is missing or could be helpful to artists and creatives.
Yeah, like whatever's weighing on your mind and the projects that you're working on. Are there certain things that have stuck out to you that have really helped you in the way that you create, or people around you who have been working really hard, or challenges that you've come across and were able to overcome, and how you did it? That's what we want to know. We want to know about your creative journey and like what you would like to share with the public.
Yeah. So over the next week or so, I think these CollabCasts will focus on a lot about on our columnists, and we hope to introduce them to you and get a sense of who they are and what they do in the community. We have a range of folks from real veterans to people who are rather new at what they're doing, but all of them, I think, have a large voice in the region, and we just want to add to that. And I also hope to talk a little bit today about what we've been up to. I mean, we've been writing a number of stories and working on some with some really exciting folks. Katie, have you been up to anything lately that sticks out? I have. I'm ready to.
Okay, well, why don't you start? Because
yeah. I'm ready to talk about. Last weekend, I went to see the Courtney Love benefit it was a Basilica benefit that honored Courtney Love, and it was sort of revelatory in a number of ways, but especially about the creative economy in that region, and the number of people who have been drawn from the city to Columbia County or Greene County. Courtney Love, obviously major icon in terms of grunge, and being very outspoken about the abuse and challenges women faced in the music industry and beyond. And I think, part of what went on last weekend was a discussion of her place in history in terms of influencing a lot of the folks who are now more outspoken in their generation, as whether it's musicians or writers and things like that, despite the fact that she was overlooked as a or at least critically overlooked at the time. But she was there because her bandmate, Melissa Oftemar, now runs Basilica Hudson. And, there were folks there who now live in Catskill and Hudson who were the creative, one of these people, Joe Mama Nitzberg, was the creative director of Celebrity Skin, one of Hole's larger albums. There were folks who, hands-on on Broadway or are involved in Hollywood and major designers, and they've all recently taken up residency here because they're drawn by one another. And obviously we have quite a art scene without that, but having all these folks move to the area and sort of discover what we have to offer here is very exciting to me. So I hope we get into that in the next coming months or so. I know I have some very cool interviews lined up that I can't wait to share with everyone. But it was a really interesting event, and
definitely.
It's neat to see that funneled into funding a local institution like Basilica, and I think we'll see more of that around the area. But anyway, how about you?
Very cool. I actually, for the past week or so, have been away, so I didn't get to go to the things that I really wanted to go to. Ended up missing out on them, but I heard really great things about the Revealing Shorts Fest that was here. Some great experimental documentaries were shown. And then the Halloween prom that happened in Troy, they raised a lot of money for Justice for Demick. And the show was pretty incredible, as I've heard and saw on social media. And also the Blue Ranger show, which I missed, which was very upsetting. Their album release, which you should definitely go listen to that album immediately and get it if you can. It's just like such a soothing, beautiful, poetic project, and they worked really hard on it, did a really good job. And I think they call it the Carriage House at Superior Merch. They just opened it, so it was a good event to have in there to sort of welcome
seen them
people
working
in.
on that throughout the last
when we were there
months.
did our editorial meetings there every once in a while, and they'd be bopping in and out with materials and such. So it looks cool.
Yeah, it's an exciting new venue to have. Blue Ranger obviously has gotten some interesting national coverage, Paste, and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's neat to see Five Kill and all those folks getting more attention for the area.
Yeah.
And one of the things, just relating back to Basilica, it was great to see the folks from Youth FX, Ballin, and everyone filming and working with them. And it's another place for folks to network in the area. It brings in those resources that the community already has. And Youth FX is coming up on its 10th anniversary. They'll be
very exciting,
celebrating in December.
They've done so much just in the past year. It's like very cool to see them have come this far. And Baldwin just got funding for, or no?
Not something we should talk about quite yet. But there are
we're going to save it?
Very exciting
Never
things.
mind. Forget that I said that.
Well, I was sworn to secrecy, so we have to wait. But
you're sworn to secrecy. It's on Facebook.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, he went live? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Jeez, shutting me down.
I'm sorry. I haven't been on social media lately.
Look it up. I'm not even going to tell you.
Baldwin got funding for a film that he's doing with his
Sundance.
friend. Yeah, from Sundance. So,
Exciting. Big moves are happening around here. The people who are working very, very hard and doing quality work, which is very important.
Yeah. And all of this fits into sort of the connections and community we hope to be covering in the next few months and for foreseeable future. So again, if you want to work with us, if you want to write a column for us, if we have something to say, get in touch. We have an application on our Facebook. All our social media accounts are live.
We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on SoundCloud, where you can find these podcasts. You don't have to just watch them on Facebook now. You can listen to them in your free time when you're driving, when you're cooking, when you're doing podcast listening type things. We have YouTube that's coming shortly. We have, am I forgetting something?
Well, Spotify.
Oh, we have Spotify. We have a cool playlist. So if you right now the playlist is focused on 518 artists who have put out music in 2018. So if you made music this year and you have it on Spotify, we'd like to have something on all platforms, because I know artists are active on Bandcamp and SoundCloud also. But we're just going to do Spotify for right now because it's easy. And so if you have music there and you've made music in the past year and you're from here, shoot us your info or your links so we can put you on the playlist, because it's really good. And you should listen to your fellow artists also, because they made some really good music this year. It was very exciting. A lot of like album of the year contenders that I feel strongly about.
Yeah, I have quite a list of a number of different things that I've been thinking about lately. But there is some news I think we'll save for now regarding the music scene and sort of people being recognized coming up next year that I think we'll be involved in. It's very exciting stuff. But also, speaking of sending us your work, if we'd love to feature you on our Spotify playlist. We'd also like to get you in the magazine.
Yeah.
If you've got events going on, if you've got castings, if you've been signed, if you're working on a play, whatever, we want to know about it, because we want all of that information in the issue so that people are getting their due recognition and folks know what's really going on in the from theater to film to music and visual arts. Whether it's an opening, gallery opening, or you got your
Yeah.
song played in a commercial. We want to know about
Yeah.
it. So hit us up on social media, or you can email us both, kcusack@proctors.org or dking@proctors.org. But, share it on social media and more people will see it and tag us.
Yeah. Let us know.
Yeah.
Be our friends on social media.
We're lonely.
We're so low.
But we'll talk to you soon, and thanks for tuning in. We can't wait to share
Yeah.
what we've been working on.
And also stay tuned for a very cool interview with Brian Chiappinelli from Almost Never Dead, who you can see. We have a nice little photo of one of the featured artists here. It's short, it's sweet. It talks about the many hardworking collectives around here and how they work together and what cool things they're up to. So stay tuned. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the CollabCast. I'm Katie Cusack, music editor, and I'm here with Brian Chiappinelli. He's an artist, a talent buyer, and a producer.
Yes.
Yes, and he is here today to talk about Almost Never Dead. It's a hip-hop collective out of Albany.
That's right.
Correct? Why don't we start by talking about how this all came to be?
This all came to be because basically I got introduced to a bunch of other local artists in the hip hop genre. And I mean, other genres too. We're focused in hip hop mostly because that's kind of like the people we mess with the most. Like
Right.
we just happen to all be into that kind of music, but we mess with people in like rock, like R&B, like crossover genres too. And this kind of all came together by just being in the community and playing shows separately. And then all the artists kind of ran into each other at different shows. Then we started booking each other on our own shows and just started to build relationships like organically, naturally. We're like, okay, you move the same way as me. You move the same way as me. We're all trying to do the same things and we have a pretty similar vision of how to make that happen.
Right.
And so we just have been having meetings and really kind of organizing things and deciding how to make it move as a unit instead of individually, everybody, shooting for the same goals separately.
Definitely. And what made you guys want to come up with the name?
The name, honestly, it just kind of is one of those things that just like happen in conversation. Somebody's like, how do you feel? And I was like, I feel dead right now. I was like, I'm almost never dead. And then it just kind of stuck.
It's like just
yeah.
the power to keep going.
Yeah, just the power to keep going. Like the business can be draining sometimes and exhausting, but it's like
Definitely.
Yeah.
So in terms of putting a collective together, like you said, like thinking of the same goals and moving in the same ways, which I think is a really great way to describe sort of how these collectives come together. Like moving in the same way is just a really good way to describe people's artistic processes and like why people work better together and why other people don't, So what do you think the strengths are to becoming more of a group thinking?
The strength. Okay, so I think that the way to do that is what we've been doing is having meetings with everyone and really figuring out what each individual person who's committed to the collective effort, like figuring out what each person's strength is.
Right.
And then kind of like delegating like, not like stone cold roles to everybody because we all kind of like, there's a little bit of flexibility
so much
there.
multitasking.
Yeah, exactly. But we want to have like focused roles for everyone. So it's easier. It's like, if we need posters, like you could hit up one of these 3 people. If we need booking, like these are the people with the connects for booking, like venues, you know what I mean? If you need promo or marketing, these are the people that specialize in that. And we just happen to have a lot of friends who are really committed to just, trying to make something go off the right way.
Right. And how long have you guys been doing this as a group?
As a group, it's actually fairly recent. It's been like a couple months since we've conceived this brainchild, but unofficially, it's been probably like 2 years that we've all been working together and kind of like working towards this thing that we didn't know what it was until recently. We were like, let's put a name on this. Like we're doing it. All of us are throwing the same shows all the time. All of us are pushing tickets. All of us are sharing our music and helping with releases. And it's like, we're just doing it because we're friends with each other.
Right.
At this point, it's like, okay, so if we brand that and put a label on it and everybody knows we're friends already from the outside, it's just a way to package it up and seal it up nice and clean and present it to people and hopefully get a new group of people interested from the outside.
Yeah. Have you seen a significant draw in people being like, I like the way that you all move together. I like what you're moving towards.
We definitely have. which is nice. The cool thing, I feel like one of the best things that we've seen recently is we've been expanding the live show thing a lot. That's what's helped the most, because a lot of the members are really strong in the area of like promoting live shows. If you're booked on a show, they'll sell tickets. They'll get all their friends to come out and make it like a live show, even if it's just for their set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's a show that's unrelated to other artists in the collective. But what we do now is we take all the people who could really push tickets and push shows and like, okay, we're going to put you all on the same show. And that's kind of what we're doing at the Fuze Box in November, is like taking a lot of the heavy hitters with people that, you know, have a good following, and they're just local artists, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just our homies. So
yeah. So this is something we very briefly touched on before we started filming, but
tell them that.
what, in your opinion, is sort of the draw to all of these local artists in the area? There are groups in Troy and in Albany, and I'm sure in other cities as well, that are really building these significantly sized and multi-dimensional artist rosters in these collectives. And why do you think that people have been so drawn to creating these groups and making that sort of the choice moving forward in the scene?
I feel like something like, okay, so music, like when you start getting into music as like a kid and you're younger, like everybody makes you think you need a record deal, right? You're like, oh, you need to like get in a band and then look this way and sound this way and do this and then get signed, and somebody's gonna help you. Somebody's gonna help you. Nobody's gonna help you.
Yeah.
All right. You do that shit. Sorry, I can't say that. Okay. You do that for long enough, and no one is gonna help you. You know what I mean? You figure it out after playing so many shows, putting out so many records, writing so many songs, and trying to get people to hear it, like what you do, trying to get people to come out and see a show because you put a lot of effort into throwing an event together. And sometimes you do it to no avail, and not a lot of people are always interested. So when you realize that there are people in your area who have done a good job branding themselves to people who are also in your area, and that it's like you're like hometown famous, you know what I mean? There are people in the capital region where it's like, yo, everybody knows you're like a pretty household name in the capital region. So it's like you take a bunch of people like that who are like a household name in smaller areas, and you get them to work together, and then it's like your own branding, it's like your own promo, it's like your own label behind you, because these people who have established networks already are coming together and deciding we're going to take our networks, join forces, and spread our whole network wider. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you do that by like making sure, like we said before, like people that move the same way and people that have like similar quality and similar vision. That's how you have to guarantee it.
Definitely. What are some of the challenges of putting something like this together?
Definitely staying organized, but I think that's a challenge anyway. Like, it's
just like as a human being,
for me, like my room is messy. You know what I mean? How am I supposed to keep track of 20 artists? Like, so that's why it's good to have 20 artists that not one person has to keep track of. It's all of us keeping track of each other. It's like checks and balances. You know what I mean? Because we've all committed to this movement. So it's like anything that it might have to do with like Mike Lanny might have a drop, or Devin might have a drop, and that's not my music. But they're in the collective, and they're going to help me when I have a drop. So now I'm going to help them, you know what I mean?
In terms of like promotion and such?
Exactly. Cross promo, shows, going out to shows, even if I'm not playing, if they're not playing, just like, listen, if we bring 10 people out from the collective or 20 people out to someone else's show, then hopefully those you know, they'll return the favor. Those people will come out when you have a show.
Built-in support system, essentially. Yeah. And does that work creatively as well? Like, say you have a song that you really want to workshop, and you're like, is this working? Is this good? Like, what is it like to have that system behind you?
It's awesome. It's pretty cool, because like everybody who's a part of that system is someone who I respect musically and like creatively anyway. And I hope that you know, goes for everyone who's a part of it. Like we all share the same idea as far as that goes. So when you're kind of like stuck on something, you just have an entire network of people to bring it to and be like, what do you think of this? And they'll be like, yo, that's trash. Like, yo, that's fire. Like, let me get on that. Let me help you. Let's build it. And that's what's cool. And also having the jobs that I personally do, like working as a producer and now working as a booking agent, like you have access to like a lot of other people and a lot of other networks. So that's just another level of like branching things together, you know? Yeah.
Are there other collectives or labels in the area that you find yourself collaborating with pretty often?
It's funny you ask. So the show that we're throwing on the 17th at the Fuze Box it's going to basically like split between a promo company called Capital City Concerts at Almost Never Dead, which is the name that the collective is sitting under right now. We're probably going to change the name, but we haven't figured it out yet.
You're going to change Almost Never Dead?
Well, yeah, it's been grandfathered in under the thing that I started like a while ago. So we just kind of like, we're in limbo right now as far as branding. So we'll leave it like that for now. But what was that? What was the question I was answering?
Like collaborating with labels.
Yeah. So on the November 17th show, we have Touch Money Militia, who actually they do a lot of recording here in Proctor's.
Excellent.
So they're like another collective from Schenectady, but we're bringing their collective effort into Albany for this show. So that's one of the groups that we've been collaborating with. Another group that I've personally collaborated with. Contraband, I have a feature for Mostly Everything coming out and some of the new music that I've been working on.
Great.
So we're hoping to do some more like links with them. That's kind of hush hush, you know.
They're so busy.
Yeah, they're busy. they're killing it right now. But I mean that's what it is. That's what we're all trying to do is just like make some kind of stamp between everyone who's trying to make a stamp of their own.
Right.
Join forces. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And get to that point where you're almost too busy to be able to function.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want. Like,
right. It's like great and horrible at the same time.
Well, because then it's like sustainable, and then it's like you don't have to go looking for things
right.
so much, you know.
Yeah, it kind of takes away part of that that part of promotion where it's like, okay, where can we go?
Exactly.
Asking that question becomes irrelevant. It's like, no, these are the places that have been laid out for us.
Yeah, it's where should we go at that point?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. Like changes your whole conversation.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So tell us a little bit about the artists that are on your roster.
Oh, you want to hear about the artists on the roster? I just happen to have a list for you.
Wow, how convenient. Right? I didn't know.
I think you might know of Pink Noise. You've interviewed him, right? Yeah. So Pink Noise is going to be on there. Yeah, he's awesome. Great artist. He's got some new music out.
Yeah.
Really cool.
He's another one that's really pushing him out. And he's got those singles that just come out every once in a while. Yeah. He's always going.
So he's going to be on the show. He's great. We've got Sudoku. And he's like beat maker, rapper. Right. Another one who's really like close knit in this community of people.
Yeah. Out of Rose Records, right?
Yeah, Rose Records, right. So that's actually a couple other groups that we've been collaborating like with people from, are like Rose Records, Sub Bombin', Pig Food Records. Now I'm working with Delirium Entertainment. So it's like a lot of people. Another artist we got on the show though is Calm Petty, and that's Mike Lanny, Devin B, and Oz Alone. It's their band. It's a rap group, but they're a band. They're a rock band.
Great.
That's their marketing thing. It's awesome. They put on a great show. They're fun guys, and the rapping is dirty. The songs are dirty. So, and they're gonna put on a good show. Then we've got Ozzy too. You know Ozzy?
Yes, absolutely.
One of the best rappers in Albany.
Extremely talented. Yeah.
Extreme. Like Ozzy's one of these guys who I would like read his lyrics and be entertained, not even listening.
Definitely.
Just like it's like poetic, and he has a lot to say, and he's
such a
captivating as a performer.
Exactly, and such a deep thinker. Just should follow him on Instagram, everyone.
Yeah, because follow Ozzy.
He's got a lot to say. It's just like very interesting.
Yeah. He's got a cool perspective on a lot of things.
Definitely.
So we've got him, and then I mentioned Touch Money Militia, and that's like a bunch of different. That's like, I don't know how many people they're actually going to bring out, but there are a bunch of people in that collective. You got Touch Money C's, you got Tony Louie, you got Rel Dolo, you got McDeezy. So hopefully they all show. You know what I mean? They're great. They're cranking out videos.
Excellent.
We also have Chris Cool Peoples from Schenectady. We got he's dope. I actually have a song coming out with Chris in a couple months. He did a feature with me. He puts out some good videos too. Yeah, he does. He works with Melvin Williams for video.
So talented.
Melvin's dope.
Melvin's really good.
And then we got Hasty Page. Do you know them?
Yeah.
So that's like some
they're good bands.
Alt rock, some funky, but that's cool. It's like mixing it up. It's like a cross genre bill, which is like people wouldn't expect that, but I think that
it's so necessary.
It is necessary, and coming from like the group of people that we have throwing the show, no one cares if it's going to be a hip hop show. No one cares if it's going to be a rock show. People care if people are going to show up and have support from their friends, and if the music is going to be good.
Yeah.
And the music's going to be good. So homies, you got show. And then I'm going to perform a quick set with my band. I'm going to do some new music. We've got Corey Alexander. That's Corey right there.
Great,
He's
yeah.
wearing the Almost Never Dead shirt.
Repping it. I love that design.
Thank you.
It's great.
Appreciate that. And then we have Mark Manning headlining, and he's from St. Rose also. He's going to be
Great.
playing with his band. He's a crazy singer. He's not crazy good singer.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, and the band is really tight. It's some R&B, some crooning,
Great.
you know, easy
Yeah.
listening.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love to be mixed up, you know, because it's like I think it's really interesting and also great that a lot of collectives like this are throwing these shows where you know you're going to see a bunch of different acts from a bunch of different genres and maybe something that you wouldn't have been exposed to before.
Yeah.
You're going to be because you're forced to.
Exactly.
It's just a really positive thing for the community and all the different groups, because there are so many different groups of artists around here who are, you know, throwing shows on the same night, and maybe they wouldn't have gotten the chance to do this if they were throwing a show on their own. Like, this
Yeah.
is the strength of events like this, when you have everyone in together.
In one area.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, you know, if you have a show at the Lobby and the Fuze Box and the Hollow at the same time, you know, somebody's going to have to pick between one. But if everyone's in one place.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's
Did
not
it.
even so much about alleviating competition as much as it is like looking at the other people who you might view as like competing as having their own set of strengths that
Right.
if you teamed up, it would benefit both of you, because like I know I have my set of strengths.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you value that, I will absolutely value what you have to bring to the table
Absolutely.
too. So
Yeah. Like if one artist has one element of their music that you're like, wow, I'd really like to incorporate that in what I do in a different way. Like, it's not necessarily like taking from them, but being like,
it's building.
Yeah,
And that sounds
exactly.
corny because everybody's like, yo, bro, let's build right now. 2018 is my year. Let's build. Like, let's build. We're building. If you want to
yeah,
build,
we're doing
hit
it.
us
It's
up.
already happening. We're building. Yeah.
We got the Legos. We're
It's
doing
great.
it.
Everybody's a piece and we all fit together.
Yes. Oh, that was beautiful.
Great, right?
Yeah.
I know. It's
Very
so,
nice.
It's great. Yeah. Anything else that you want to add?
I mean, I feel like we
Talk about?
covered a lot. So
lot of
actually, yeah,
things.
you know what? Shout outs Pink Noise, shout outs Sudoku, shout outs Colin Petty, shout outs Ozzy, Touch Money Militia, Chris Cool Peoples, Hasty Page, Corey Alexander, Beat Chaps, Mark Manning, shout outs Delirium, Sub Bombing, Pig Food, Rose Records. That's it. Almost Never Dead. Thanks, guys. That's all I have.
Excellent. Great. Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your collective wisdom. And
Thank you.
yeah. And the event is at the Fuze Box.
Yep, on
November
11/17.
Great.
Yeah, thanks
What
for
time?
having me. It's going to be, doors are at 7 p.m. So show up, you know,
Yeah.
we're going to spin some tunes early,
Yeah. Get some dinner before.
get some drinks, get a little
hang out.
weird.
Yeah. It's going to be a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.